So we are at walk up number 4 in Lenzerheide, Switzerland. I mean, like when you walk it, it's always scary, and then once on the bike, it feels like so much better. Bikes are working really good on this rock, so it's good to check all the rocks and holes to make sure you start and you're feeling good. I think here it's important to don't start too fast, otherwise it's hard to turn and feel good on this rock. So.
Can you tell me what it's like when it goes wrong on these rocks?
I don't want to think about it.
We are Lenzerheide, World Cup Run 4, and we are at the top, and there is already a new section, so that's pretty good. Cool to have some new section. It's all fresh, so yeah, excited to see how it goes. Well, last year the old rock garden was a nightmare. So it's cool. We don't go anymore, but yeah, now it looks a bit tight and tricky, but less tricky for sure than the previous years.
Fresh track, grass track for the moment, but a lot rocky under the grass, so interesting, and we'll see how the track will be after a few runs.
Can you tell me what the turns were like in the Open last year?
Oh yeah, they were really fast and like by park a bit, so now it's more like natural and skills. So it's interesting and it's good to have some changes.
Can you tell me where we're at?
We're in the new section at the top of Lenzerheide, and yeah, just checking it out for the first time.
Looks different than the bike park turns in the Open, huh?
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, couldn't be more different. It's just like brand new through the woods. Like they've just mowed it and taped it, and that's it. So yeah, there's lots of rocks and roots like underneath the grass. So I think it's gonna be tricky to ride, and it's really off camber as well. So yeah, we'll see. But it's definitely a lot more to think about than what we're used to here. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have something new. Some pretty interesting, like they've just literally like whippersnippered or weed whacked, whatever the Americans or other people call it. Australians call it whippersnipper sections, and there's just rocks and stumps and like some loose stuff that looks a bit dangerous. So I don't know, I think it'll get cleared out, but just hope for like the juniors and stuff in practice that it doesn't kill too many of them, kind of thing. So but I think once it rides in and we've got a dry week ahead of us, it will actually look pretty good and hopefully ride good. But at least it's new, I guess.
I mean, yeah, this is this is a fast right-hand turn. You came into it with some good pace, and there's a lot of fall line through the corner. So you definitely came off this step down with ample speed, and I think this year you're going to be getting on the pedals a little bit. So definitely a big change.
I really like this section because you come into this corner and you kind of have two choices of going railing the full outside or going full inside. But this year, coming out of the forest, there's going to be way less speed. So it's going to be interesting to see how this jump actually works, because they didn't make the jump smaller, but they made everything else slower. So you might be coming out of the woods, pedaling off the step down, and then coming into this section and really having to pull, because I think the speed is going to be so much lower. So it's going to be a really interesting one this year.
This will wrap kind of nice here, cut in. There'll be one line, I reckon, through this. You'll be like jumping right on the pole.
Oh mate, it's sick. Yeah, it's funnily enough, it's all the riders are stoked, and they've changed the track, and it's fresh. It's grass, loam, rocks. It's awesome. Yeah, you know, it's pretty easy to put some whippersnippers down a field and make a track change quite substantially, which these guys have done, and even stuff like this, just moving the main line 5 meters to the right makes it a completely different can of worms for the riders, and everyone's stoked.
Can you tell me what this section was like before?
Pretty hairy, eh? I've actually gone over the bars off this stump and wrapped myself down around that yellow pad before, so yeah, I've got my demons for sure. But it's just when they've run it through a section for like 5 years, it just gets so chewed out, and change is good.
Section right here, we normally do whips at the start of practice day one, and there's no photographers here because they're all on the first day on the track shooting together, if I'm honest. That's what normally happens. And then in race run we go really slow, really low. I think, off this lip, I don't know. But we look cool the first day, and then after that we look like kooks.
On one of the steepest sections of the track here, can you tell us what it's like to ride this?
It's pretty scary because you want to enter it max speed, but once you're in and you're too fast, it's like, oh my god. Oh. There's so many trees that can stop you from, I don't know, 35 to 0, so it's a bit scary, but it's actually one of the coolest ones because you just, on the brakes, full gas and, surf the dirt, and then, I don't know. I like that section, but it's just, that tree, you can see it with the blue mat, is the worst because I think the best line is inside, the fastest one, but it's also super hard to not hit the tree when you go there fast, so I don't know. I don't know yet. And I don't want to hit something on my left side right now, so maybe I'll go around. We'll see.
Yes, this section was real tight last year and you had to go off this steep drop. Real tight around that tree, which was like, you've got all the momentum of such a steep shoot into something that tight and tech. Was like, it caught a lot of people out. There's a lot of injuries here, a lot of people crashing, but it might just be the same because you got way more speed. Yeah, here they've opened it up quite a bit. It was like a 1 line, now it's like probably 6 or 7 lines. So yeah, a lot of planning to be done.
It was quite tight here last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely had it a bit tighter and less options. But
no, like you come into the bottom now. It's getting a bit more open. There's one more technical section, which is actually one of the key sections, I think, rocky and stuff like that. And then you just need to carry all the speed through the last turns. You can really lose the race there. All the upper sections are quite techy. They got this new bit on top in, which is quite nice, I think. It's less bike park stuff and more technical. And also, yeah, like the steep bit they got in a few years ago is pretty nice. Also opened up this section a bit. Looks good at the moment.
This is always a tricky one because there's not many lines in. There's a nice little gap that you can sneak through. You don't really want to hit the little rock in the middle. And then there's quite a few options out. So it's always interesting, but it's near the bottom of the track, you're tired. It's fast. It's not like you're hitting this in the first few sections where you can actually just nail it. So fatigue and then just speed, and then through here is quick and it's rough. So you got a lot to deal with coming into it. So the faster you hit it, the smoother it is.
We've got a few changes up top which I think are good. It gives you kind of something else to think about. I feel like when you come to a track over and over again, you almost go into cruise control, and I feel like it's almost harder for people to come onto the scene and do well because everyone kind of already knows their lines, and it's, yeah, maybe a few meters here and there where it's different, but on the whole it's the same. So it's cool to see changes. You got to, like, the timing's really important down here. You got a few bridges you've got to jump. The biggest one's probably the last finish line jump. I think Marie lost the race there last year when he accidentally unclipped off it. And if you nail it, you can carry good speed because you can't really pedal to the finish. You've got to just like tuck and hit the 2 turns. So it's real crucial. It's hard because you come in so fast and you've kind of got a brake check just before it. So yeah, it doesn't look that hard, but to get it perfect is quite hard. And when you do, though, it feels good. When you like nail it and just land perfectly in the dirt, oh, it's a good feeling.
Bottom section, the last 20 seconds of the track, and just full gas, big drop, high speeds, and then one kind of big bridge jump into a left-hander, and then a couple corners, one more drop, and you're at the finish. So. Well, it's my first time here, actually, because I was injured last year, but yeah, I watched the replay, and yeah, it's always pretty tight. Like the top 10 are, within 1 or 2 seconds. So it's really small margins.
Excited?
Yeah, super stoked. Can't wait to get out there tomorrow.